hanging out in the garage with the new miter saw that I got when Santa decided he really wanted a better miter saw to make bug boxes. This whole video is going to be about the previous miter saw that I had and how much troubleshooting I did with it to try to get just a basic, simple, clean 45 miter. Hope it helps. I think this one's closer. Let's check this one just for good measure. Get it? Good measure? That is also acceptable, even for something as fussy as this. So these are okay. And then we can try to check this 45. This does sort of assume that these two edges are perfectly parallel. That could be part of my problem, is that I don't have anything that's a really spectacular 45. So what we're gonna do is set to 45, and you can see we have a little wobble there. We'll take two pieces and put the miters together and see how square it is. I know that this is pretty good, and I can see a gap down here. And I spin this around and I have a bigger gap over here. What I'm trying to do is establish a proper 45-degree angle with the miter saw, and then we can look at remaking those. Okay, now we've got a little bit of wobble here. We'll recut these. Why is it doing that? We'll try with it completely clamped, see if it is actually movement in the pieces. So it's a bit better, but I still have, like, it's tighter, it's gappier here than it is down at the other end. And the question is, why? That is a brand new blade, so why would it not be cutting a straight line? That alone could be the problem that I'm running into. Like, that's enough of a difference here. So this is part of the problem. This bed isn't very flat. Let's do a Google on this. Cuts a slight curve. Bent arbor shaft. So this guy was just doing it wrong. Miter to edge or curved in the middle. Here's another one. Some people are saying bent boards, cup boards. This is a problem a lot of people run into. Board is badly cupped, dull blade, board isn't held down, and I've clamped it. This guy just has bad alignment. We got a little bit, and that's all the way down to the arbor. Like, it's not loose on here. So every time we've cut from the left side, if we move this over to the right, the question is, do I get the same result? Well, that's pretty good. I'm wondering how much of that was because the other thing I did a little bit differently was, instead of pushing clamp on here, I was holding it here. Let's try from the right side, same thing, but we'll hold it really tight where it creates this angle, because both of these supports are lower than that. That's not it. Oh, wait, hold on. That might be... It might be a little bit indented. I mean, I'd rather an indent than a bulge. So that's the indent end. Let's try to get this straight edge here, holding it really tight at this point. So then we compare that cut to that one. And if I'm not like crushing it together, it does seem to bow out a bit in the middle. Like, that is definitely tighter. Okay, well, maybe then the solution to that could be, let's see if we can cheese this a bit so I don't have to have my hand so scary up close. This seems to have a straighter gap, so if I try to build this up a little bit, it is a really cheap miter saw, yeah. So, like, I don't blame the tool, but I do need to find a way to work with it. And if I can build this up with a few layers of tape to get it to the point where it's not making goofy stuff happen, you know, I can accept that. Well, let's see if we can establish a decent 45, and who knows, maybe that stop is. And all the problems I've been running into in the past have just been based on those curves. Okay, so that is definitely not square. We need to tighten that up a bit, which means it needs to go that way a bit. So, you know, that's not terrible. The question is it square? That's pretty square. Let's test it again. That's pretty good. We do have that gap though, so maybe I put too much tape on. Let's take a little bit of that off and we'll try one more time. Okay, so yeah, I think I had too much tape. I think that solved the gap. Now, is it still, because that's tight. Are we still square? I think we're still square. All right, so that should be set. We're not gonna touch that at all. You know, compared to that there, that's almost 1/8 of an inch out. So like, that's not good. Yay,